EU citizens in the UK face being deported before they can challenge a ruling that they are not entitled to stay after Brexit, a government minister says. The admission triggered an immediate warning that it would cause considerable alarm to millions of people already facing huge uncertainty about their futures. Yvette Cooper, the heads the all-party Home Affairs Select Committee, also pointed out that the Home Office is notorious for mistakes, saying it currently loses half of all appeals. This process is stressful enough for EU citizens without facing the possibility of being separated from their homes, the jobs, the community and their children for months on end as a result of Home Office errors. Theresa May has repeatedly promised that the 3.2 EU citizens in this country have no reason to fear deportation, while claiming an agreement with Brussels is within touching distance. They would be able to apply for settled status, with registration due to begin by the second half of next year. Brandon Lewis, the immigration minister, giving evidence to the committee, insisted there would be a presumption that EU citizens should be allowed to stay. But he did not dispute Ms. Cooper's warning that mistakes might not be corrected until the appeal goes through, by which time somebody has been deported. Speaking afterwards, the chairwoman added the minister's failure to guarantee that EU nationals won't be deported while they appeal if the Home Office refuses them settled status will cause considerable alarm. And Nicholas Hatton, the founder of the 3 Million Group, representing EU citizens, said while the Home Office is trying to paint an idyllic picture of administrative prowess, we know the reality is very different on the ground. The fear was that the registration system involving checks of criminal records, good character, proof of residence and financial resources, would expose many EU citizens to the Home Office's hostile environment with a real risk of deportation. It's vital that a much simpler process is adopted, with the acceptance of EU citizens groups, Mr. Hatton added. The Home Office has pledged an easy access registration process that will avoid the current, hugely complex system for applying for permanent residence. Settled status would be available for EU nationals who have lived in Britain for 5 years. Those already here, but for less time, would be allowed to stay until they have reached 5 years. During the evidence session, Mr. Lewis said he expected deportations to take place only in clear-cut cases of non-EU nationals attempting to game the system by claiming the new status. Cases should be dealt with within a couple of weeks and applicants may not have to submit their passport as part of the process, he said. And he insisted the Home Office sought to swiftly correct any mistakes, as it did recently when 106 EU nationals were wrongly sent letters ordering them to leave the country. Some 1,200 officials were being recruited to UK Visas and Immigration UKVI to handle an expected 3.5 applications over the next 2.5 years. But Ms. Cooper questioned whether that would be enough, given that UKVI needs 6,500 staff to deal with the 3 million cases it currently handles each year. More about Brexit, EU citizens' deportations. Yvette Cooper, Brandon Lewis reuse content.